Clear signal north into Abbeville, southbound. Got a train coming out of Greenwood going to Atlanta at the north end of Abbeville. I'm going to catch it for y'all. Alright, thank you. Alright, switches line, main line to main line. Whatever we got is going to go straight. Alright, thank you. Alright. I'm walking to a friend of mine's house. I forgot about this southbound that we got coming, but I hear him coming now. 951, 7233, manifest train headed to Alabama. Headed to Atlanta, then to go to Alabama. Got flat cars with flat steel on it. They get to Alabama and they make I-beams and stuff out of structural materials out of it. Bunch of CSH grainers on it. Some cement hopper cars. Some more grainers, 3 bays. Some 2-bay cover hoppers for cement, I believe. Got insulated tank cars, CECX. That's flammable, something refrigerated liquid, it says. Tank car with a red tag, not flammable. Liquefied petroleum gas. Center beam loaded down. I don't know whether that's wood. I assume that's some sort of wood up there. I'm too far away to read it. Anti-CSHC flat car. Another grainer going through, some more tank cars. No placards on them, they're loaded. Must not be a hazard for chemicals. I don't know why there's no placards on them. I was trying to walk further down the railroad track, get y'all a different view, but I don't know whose dog that is. Well, this is a big old train. He's probably going slow because he's going up the hill. Probably got a heavy train behind him. These look like they're empties. More grainers, but they look like they're empties. Bottom end coming up, y'all. Cement hopper on the bottom. Grainer in front. Got blue EOT on it. Alright, thank y'all. Hope you enjoyed this stuff. Alright, all the trailers are gone. I assume that they carried them closer to Atlanta. That's where the surfacing gang was headed to. Alright, thank you. Alright, I can't see the signals down there. Too much fog. I'm gonna walk down there and look at them, see what's going on, what we got today. Alright, thank you. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we got one coming up the hill at us. Couple of days. We had one come through yesterday. Got scrap in those cars. They're loaded. Auto racks on the back side of this train. They've been through a hump yard. If you look at the wheels on it, they're shiny. So I assume this train made it out of Hamlet. Dual, D-U-E-L. Bottom end of it. Blue EOT. I see a locomotive down there on the main line. That must be the Advil switcher. Single engine, southbound. Facing southbound. Actually was probably going northbound. Alright, I'll get pictures when I get closer to it. Alright, thank you. Alright, he's gonna get closer to me. He's rolling now. Advil switcher, northbound, main line to main line. Got him a clear signal. Headed to Greenwood. Not bringing any cars back. Alright, thank y'all. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we got a clear signal northbound. I don't know when the train will get here. They must have the auto racks tied down at the south end or sitting there at a red signal waiting on this one to come up out of Georgia. Alright, thank y'all. I got 3 engines on a loaded train. Looks like a manifest freight. Sorry about that. It looks like a train load of grain or something. I mean, with rocks or something. I don't know what he is. He honked at us. Five 365. Herzog. This is all ballast, y'all. I don't know if you can see the platform up on the end that gets solar power. These cars have a computer. And when he goes over the spot, it'll dump the ballast automatically where it's got to go on the track. Herzog train. A new one there, new paint job. Track that went south a while ago, he must have held up on the siding over there. So this train could get by the south end. He didn't go out on the main line to go to Gown Falls because this one was too close. Too soon after that other one. Down the hill, going to Greenwood. Hope y'all enjoying this. Thank y'all for watching. God bless y'all. Beautiful day in Abbeville. See the clouds, no chemtrails anywhere. Just normal looking clouds. Beautiful day in Abbeville. Alright, thank y'all. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we got a southbounder coming through in dynamic brakes. 945, 45, 44. It's a coal train headed down to Georgetown near the beach. Rolling downhill in Abbeville. It's going pretty slow. It's got to be doing 45, no faster than that on the main line. Coming over the bridge over there, heading down another bridge that way. You still hear the rail making noise. If they didn't grind that rail, it'd be very quiet down through here. Got DPU coming. Three, 4, 1, 2 on that one. In dynamic brakes. I just walked up here and checked the southbound signal. Of course, it was red, and then I walked back to the house. I'm charging my phone up. He's picking up speed. Blue EOT on the bottom end of it. Alright. Looks like the auto racks are still tied down in that vehicle. They're not rolling. They're sitting in the siding down there. Alright, thank y'all. God bless y'all. Hope you're having fun. Alright, I've been wandering around since 12 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock now. And those auto racks are still sitting down there. I can't tell whether it's on the main line or the siding because the tracks are kind of hidden at the bottom or come out a little drop on the main line. It drops down, then it curves to the left, and I can't see the tracks. Alright. And we got red over red, red over red on both signals. Main line and the siding. Alright, thank y'all. I'm thinking about what I'm going to do now. You see the post that's been cut off? You see that big rock there? Right here used to be the ash pit. They filled it in with big rock and you got ballast on it. But right here, of course there's nothing here now, it's all mainline track. But looking back towards the depot, you can see the bridge down there. And just on the other side of it was the depot, so they'd be stopping with the first passenger car back there. And then you had the baggage car, and then you would have the ash pit of the steam engine sitting here. So your southbound steam trains would stop here on the passenger trains and stuff, and while they're changing passengers, they get the ash pit cleaned out. Now the reason I know this story is because I knew a gentleman He was 80-something years old when I knew him, maybe even in his 90s. But anyway, this was his job down here when he was 15 years old. I see the lights flashing on the EOT on the on the auto rack sitting down there. Alright, and we're coming up on Maxwell, this is Abbeville Yard. I'm going to kind of give a little history on it. But anyway, the ash pit was here, and I knew the gentleman that worked it, and I'll tell you some of his stories and stuff. He said he got along good with the engineer on the passenger train, and God told me he does good work and everything, and he liked his work and stuff. Alright, so this is the main line closest to me. That's the siding over there, and out of it comes what is now determined as #1 yard track. And if you look down there, you'll see the D-rail right there. And I'll tell you a story about that when I get up there. I don't know what the white paint is for. It doesn't look like it's far enough back for a clearance point on that switch there. And you got one over here, and the switch for it's like way down that way. So this might be just for where a measurement starts or something. I don't know. When they come out to measure the track. Alright, thank y'all. Can you see the band of metal down there? Laying across the tie right there? That comes off. If you look up here, you can see it coming off the railhead. The car is pushed down and pushed the metal this way, and it comes off as a little flange that eventually gets broken off or gets worn so thin it breaks and stuff. Alright, thank you on that. Hope you enjoyed that. Alright, this is your D-rail. I don't know how long this one's been here. This is the original location or whatever. And up there they got a yellow clearance marker for it. So everything has to be parked on the other side of the yellow clearance marker, and then it's behind the D-rail. But anyway, what I came here to show you, you gotta imagine they throwed a lot more dirt in here than it used to be. The edge of the hill would have been here. And this is a major hill. Let me see if I can find my way over there and show you how deep that is. I imagine we're about 70 feet up. If you see down there, they run some concrete drain pipe from all the way back up there to out here. They added all this dirt in here to make this safer. You know, see all the logs, the railroad ties and stuff they've been throwing down in here? And what they're doing is back in the early 1900s, and the guy's name is not hitting me right now, so I can't say his name. But it was a young fella. He was a black man. And he would come out and hang out down here at the depot or at the railroad yard, you know, watching the trains and stuff like that. You can see the tires getting out wider right there. I don't know why my phone wants to act up. But anyway, that was the branch off into the yard. So this would have been #1 track, then they would have dropped off #2 track, and they would have had this yard lead coming off this way. Excuse me, off this way. And that would have ran down that way and then cut back to the left, because if you look, this is all big hill up here now. So everything drained out there went down there. But anyway, the black man, and I can't remember his name, Hoodlum Duck, I think was his name. And he stole a locomotive one day, basically. So he brought it down the ladder track for the yard. You know, the one that comes off this track, and we go down there, and then it starts branching off into the other yard tracks, and it would go over towards the roundhouse. And they had a steam engine parked over there, and he stole the steam engine, and he came this way, and you see the ties over here. He went down, got on the yard track number 1, what we call it today. I'm not sure what the title was today. He went out that derail down on that end, and the locomotive went down the hill, and it killed him. But the guys got down there, was trying to rescue him, and they asked him why he did it, where he was going, and he said he was going to go get some oranges from Florida. Well, that's not the way to Florida. Neither is this way. You know, this track went from New Orleans to Atlanta to Abbeville on up to Richmond, Virginia, and New York. It never did go to Florida. It did connect with, now maybe he was going up to Hamlet and switched the track to go down through Columbia and stuff, which would have took him to Florida. But nobody knows what his plan was or how he had that figured out. All right, guys, so that's that story. I'll tell you what, I need to come in and put some tires in here, because the Advil switcher still uses this track. I just have to use that very easy level. It looks like it's about bad, falling apart. Now, you see the tracks where the deer run up and down? And up there on top of that hill, somebody dug some, like, pits or something to stand in, but they got V-shaped bottoms, so maybe he's going to put wood floors in when he hunts from here. I don't know. But I've been up in there. I don't know whose land that is. I hope I don't get in trouble for talking about it. I thank you. Some more stuff piled up. They got some tires over there. Maybe they plan on fixing this track. All that ballast, that was the old railroad track I was talking about that came off up here. I don't know if there was more tracks or what. Track here and a track over there, so that by now it's up to 2 tracks done branched off. So the one on the far side is the one that would have gone to the turntable and stuff. And this track that just came off of it right here, since we got 2 tracks side by side, that would have been yard track number 2. That looks like an older tie. I don't want to get dirty over, and there's some old tires over there that set out. You would have had this track over here. Piece of slag, I guess, from welding. That could have come off an old brake shoe or something. In the old days when they had steel wheels and steel brakes. And you get an overheated one, stuff starts melting. See, now we're probably up to 3 or 4 tracks. One right here, one over there, and one over there. I thought my zoom was in too close. Alright, let me pause it and save some time and battery. If you see that hill over there, it would tied in with that hill over there. And this all would have been hand dug out, horse and man. I don't think they had steam shovels. Well, they might have steam shovels in here, but there weren't any bulldozers in those days. Alright, thank y'all. Alright, I'm not sure whether this worked or not. I'm going to redo it. See that hill over there? And see how it's an embankment right there? They dug that away. It would have gone all the way over there. All this hill was dug off of this area to run these tracks through here. They just made a valley. Alright. Thank y'all. Debris from a welded rail kit, or a rail welding kit. All the white and the reddish stuff is the brickwork. And the gray is your metal work from everything. And they got a piece of rail they throwed in the pile. It wasn't part of that. Probably sliced off so they could put the rail in or whatever. And I don't see anywhere where they welded any rail out here. So I don't know why that's there. Oh, came off of that track. So they fixed the rails on that track. Alright, thank y'all. And look at that. See, that's 4 joint bars in that draw head. When I get over on the main line, I'll be finding 8 bolt draw joint bars. So this is some old track here. This is really from Seaboard Airline days. I haven't changed anything. Alright, but that's all welded rail, but I know where joint bars are. They're down by the switches stuff, and they're 8-hole joint bars, y'all. Imagine. Look, this looks like it's got some loose nuts on it because the rail is crooked. But they don't look like they're loose. They all look like they're in good shape. They just got a crooked joint there. Oh well. Look like some more welding debris up there, rail welding. Alright, thank you. Alright, right here. We're with that track right here. There's a track over there. There's a track over there. And there will be another track over there, so we're up to 4-yard track, or 3-yard, 1, 2, 3-yard tracks, and a round turntable lead. But it's also the ladder track for the yard, or switch track for the yard. I just don't know what they called it back in those days. Some more welding debris. That looks like what it was over there on that rail. Of course, you did one here too. Broken joint bar. But the tires look a lot better. They have worked on some of the tires up through here to straighten it out. But boy, it's looking bad down on that end. Now look, I've seen the auto wreck train. The front half was a manifest train and the back half was auto wreck train. And I wonder if this is it or not. I don't know whether that was today or yesterday. Alright, let me hang up till I figure out some more stuff. Alright. You see how black that is in that ditch? Well, it's not a ditch, it's where ballast regulator came down through here and scraped this clean, gathering up the rock from it and pulling it up here, and the rest of it pushed away. But that blackness is from the soot and the cinders from the steam engines. Alright. So when they built this Hamlet, North Carolina, well, they built over out of Monroe because they already had track at Hamlet. It was going to Charlotte, I guess. And then they built a yard up there in Monroe. But anyway, they built from Monroe to Abbeville. And back then it was a Carolina, Georgia, and Northern or something like that. When it started out, it was, what was it? It had the name Abbeville in the name of it. Like Greenwood, something Greenwood, Abbeville Railroad, I don't remember. Then later it became the Georgia, Carolina, Northern or something. Then when it finally got to Abbeville, it was the Seaboard Airline. And this would have been the bottom end of it. So everything coming out of Hamlet, the engines would have come in here to go to the roundhouse to get worked on. And then they would be sending, he's pumping the brakes off. We got a new crew on this one. Hear that air? That's the brakes releasing. Watch these cars start to roll backwards. Let me walk on up. Maybe I can get some more of this train here in a little bit. Sound like I hear some of it creeping backwards. Yeah. Flat shifting on drawbars and stuff. Alright, we're finally coming around where the yard really starts to open up. Now, between this track and the next track, they would have had the caboose track. So you would have had a coal bin for it, coal for a stove and stuff. You would have had oil down here for the lamps and things like that. Plus they had the big stand tower for the locomotive. Alright, they're pulling out, y'all. Nazareth, Caswell, Kiswick Park. No outrage. Gruesome twosome, huh? Renique. Maybe I can't read, I don't know. I don't hear him blowing at Red Street, which means over here must be north of Red Street. He might be down at the signal, or I don't know. Maybe he'll blow in a little bit, but I think he would have blown by now. Look at all this digging they had to do. Way over there, way over there, y'all. He's going around the corner. I haven't heard him blow at Red Street yet. I haven't heard him blow for a couple of days. I've been missing trains because they haven't been blowing at Red Street. So I'm wondering what's coming up. All right, we're coming up into the yard area. You see it goes from here all the way over to there. So we're starting to get more tracks in here. They tell me there's 5 yard tracks. So it would have been the main line, the siding, yard track number 1, yard track number 2, 3, 4, 5, and the other track over there, track number 6, would have been the one that went to the turntable and stuff. Went up by the roundhouse. And you would have engine tracks up there, I guess, coming off of it. And that's where, what's his name, stole the engine from. Alright. And they tell me this ought to be a good place to look for liquor bottles out here, because they said everybody was drinking back in those days. That's what the modern guys tell me. I don't know. I haven't seen a liquor bottle out here yet. Let me pause it till I get something exciting going on. I found a clanker out of a steam engine out here. I'm going to keep that just for a memento, I guess. From the early days of steam on the Seaboard Airline Railroad. Alright, thank y'all. Alright, back over there, that's the railroad yard. The real big trees in there was probably growing between the tracks. When I was a kid, all the rest of these had grown up since I was a young boy. Or even a young man. I think I used to come down here when I was like 15 or whatever. It was still a railroad yard back then. I would ride the switcher all day long. Alright. Got a 1987 placard there. Fell off of a car. Alright. Right over there would have been the office for the engineers when they had to get their train or whatever. The train would pull up here and stop, and the old engineers, the inbound engineers would get off, and the outbound engineers would get on the train out here. Back in the passenger days, even on Seaboard Coastline, from Seaboard Airline to Seaboard Coastline, this would have been your crew change point for all your southbound passenger trains. They'd make 2 stops in Nashville. They'd stop in Nashville and change the conductors off, and they would also passengers and stuff. And this was a non-stop passenger train from New York, well actually from Boston to New York all the way down to New Orleans. They only stopped to change out engineers and conductors, and Nashville made 2 stops for that. They changed out the conductors down there at the depot, which is way around the corner. And up here, they'd stop and change out the engineers. So a non-stop train made 2 stops in little old Abbeville. All right, thank y'all. Back at the beginning of the railroad, Abbeville was a big point, because like I said, all the trains were coming to Abbeville. They didn't, let's see, they got to Abbeville in 1887, and they made it to Atlanta in 1892. So then the trains would come down here and then take off and go to Atlanta once they got the track down there. Now, later on, the locomotives were big enough. See, I guess in the early days, they come out hammered with a steam engine. They take it off down here and put it in the roundhouse way over there. And they give you a new steam engine, take your train to Atlanta. When you come back from Atlanta, you swap that engine out and put an engine on here to take it on up to Hamlet. And then they probably would change engines up there to send it on up, you know, on up further north and stuff. Later on, with the Twin Pacifics and the Twin Mikados, they would have a, see if I get this right, a 2664, which is the Twin Pacific, and Pacific is a 462. So they just act like they tied 2 of them together. And they made a steam engine out of it. And then we had the 2 882s, you know. two axle side being the Union Pacific big boy. That would have given a bigger firebox and more swing on the front end. Okay, over there by the railroad tracks, there used to be a section shed. I remember that when I was a kid. They had the wooden rails that come out to get it on the main line. And back then it was all jointed rail, just like this stuff is, four bolt joints. 1, 2, 3, 4 bolt. Somebody must have a car sitting there and just rained on it. I'm going to pause it. I get something else exciting. Alright, we got some cover hoppers sitting here. I don't know what they're for. I have to look at the doors on them. Type F coupler with a drop jaw on it. Okay, motion control truck. And you can tell it because it's got that lever hanging down. So you got the airline coming in and it's going out. And what that does is the heavier the truck, the more. This will stay the same because it's attached to the wheels. Alright. But this piece right here pushes down on. The heavier the car gets, the more this bolster pushes down on these springs. And that makes that lower. But that means the car is getting lower because it sits on this. Alright, well the lower this gets, the lower this gets. So it'll be getting lower and lower, and this, like I said, this stays the same. It's going to push this up. And what that does is that regulates how much air goes from the triple valve, which is that big monster thing right over here. That's a triple valve. Alright, and that takes the air from the reservoir up there. Let me look, let me walk around. There's the air reservoir up there, and it has two pipes coming out of it, because one is the main and one is the emergency. So it's actually two tanks right there. Alright, so you got two valves come over here, so you got this main pipe here is the one that's connected to the air hose. So when he releases the brakes, it'll pump air into that pipe, and this is the triple valve. It'll feel that increase in pressure, and it feeds air into these two pipes here, or these top two pipes here, which feed the tank. Alright, when he applies the brakes, and he goes from like 90 pounds and drops it down to 87 or something, that'll draw air down there. This thing spills the measurement, and it'll take a little bit of air out of the main. Okay, emergency's on the left, auxiliary's on the right. So it's going to take air out of this pipe, the auxiliary, the train brake, and it's going to apply it to this pipe here, which is going over to that truck down there. And then once it's finally like 3 or 4 pounds down to that little valve down there, and then it goes down this pipe right here, comes up this pipe to that valve and feeds that piston right there, and that's what applies the brakes. Alright, so then if he does another brake application, same thing will happen. It'll drop it 3 or 4 more pounds again. It'll take air, 3 or 4 pounds of air out of the main reservoir, put it down in the main brake pipe pressure, go through and be applied to the piston until you get the wheels set up. You know, if you're going to park your train, you want to set up real good, and you keep reducing air and do that. Alright, then when the next engineer comes, or this guy wants to go, he's going to apply air in there to here. And what that's going to do is start supplying air to the tank up there, both sides. And it's going to take air out of that pipe and vent it to the atmosphere. So that's why you hear whenever he starts releasing brakes, you hear that air hissing out of each car, because that's what's going on. That piston is pushing on that lever, which pulls that lever with like a chain link there, and that's pulling this piston here, which is connected to the brakes on the other end of the car. Alright, now, if he drops out air real fast, or a whole lot of air, that's going to cause this thing to set up into emergency. And when it does that, it'll start taking the air out of that side, every bit of it, and put it in that line going to the brakes. And they'll apply the brakes, like 80 pounds of air on the brakes or whatever it's got in there. I mean, if it were a car on the back end of the train, it might not have all the air. The longer the train, the less air you got at the back, because there's a lot of air leaks a lot of times. Okay, you gotta be careful what you touch around here. Some stuff does have grease. Alright. Let me walk up. Alright. I would say this is probably plastic on this car, due to the caps they have on them, where they can hook the pipes up to them and suck them out. So I assume this one is for vented hatch cover. So when you suck it out down there, you got to open up the hatch on top. That's what that's reminding you. That's why they got one of them over every hatch. When you're down here hooking up that hose, you're going to be bumping into that and hopefully looking at it and stuff. Alright. I don't know, V8 vent valve, I don't know what that is. Right there. Let's see if I got that thing over there. I don't know. It looks like it's in the air hose, but I don't know. I had to go look further and see what that is. It might be for ventilating the cars and stuff like that. I don't know. Alright. These are all loaded cars. Another motion control truck. And I only see one on each car. Like the one up here, all the motion control trucks I've seen, well, I've seen on different ends of cars, but if they got one, they're not going to have any more, I don't think. I have to walk around and look. Yeah, that one's got one too. They don't have the stickers on here talking about the vented cap, but they got a yellow one on this one. Alright, that switch up there puts the #1 yard track back into the siding at the south end of Abbeville. Okay, it's only going to be one truck because there's only one end of the car that has the triple valve and stuff. So They're not going to set two of them up on a car or whatever. It's just going to be on that end. Looks like on the B end of the car. Alright. We got a yellow mark on the tie up here. And that tells them where they got to park behind this. If they're going to park anything in here, it's going to be back behind this. Because the tracks get closer and closer together up here. They don't want them bumping in. And you see the track that came off there? This would have been the south end. Down there. Yard track. That would have gone over to the roundhouse over there. There's also what would have been the Y track after they took out the turntable. This would have been where the switch was for it, I guess. Alright, but anyway. I rode on these tracks when I was a kid. I would come down here and spend the day down here all day riding around with the switcher crew in the yard. So I've ridden on all these tracks. I've been on the main line, but not with the switchers. We would be on the side and going to the depot because we used to park the engines in the diamond spur at the Abbeville depot. And look, we're in Abbeville. Everything is on hills over here. You see how they widen this out. They don't want anybody getting killed because the locomotive or something goes down the hill. They won't be able to, get stuck out here in the soft grass, not go over the top. Sorry about my finger. It's just so easy gets in the way, and I'm not thinking it's over there, and I look up and there it is. Alright, thank y'all. Alright, this is your switch for your yard track coming into the siding. And you see it's tied into the signals with the north and south of Abbeville. So if this switch is thrown, they won't get a clear signal coming in. At most, they can get a restricted signal. And then they'll be look out for tracks that are misaligned or whatever. It just happens to be misaligned. That's Red Street up there. Alright, thank y'all. Alright, we got this creek that comes in underneath the railroad track. I'm not sure what the name of it is. But we're probably about 90, maybe 100 feet up. Over there was a tank, and that's where they used to get the water and pump it up to the tower for the locomotives in Abbeville. And the road to get to the roundhouse is over there in the woods. It goes across the bridge down there. And we're going up to the railroad yard and you're there. Alright, thank y'all. Okay, I done walked up on two more white ties. I would say they're measuring distances with them. And they got blue over there, and I assume they're doing the same thing with that. Alright, thank y'all.